Here in Vegas, it's all about the stakes, and they are huge tonight for the nominees. A brand new Fox poll shows Clinton in the lead by 6 points, so Trump needs to pull up a big victory to tighten the race again. Here's the GOP nominee ahead of the final showdown.
Tomorrow night's going to be interesting. She's home sleeping and I'm working, so that's the way. It's the way it's going to be in the White House, too. She'd be sleeping, I'd be working.
Well, Clinton gave a thumbs up when she was asked how her debate prep was going yesterday. Here's more from each of their campaigns.
Trumpers who remain out there, the shards and never Trumpers are, if you want to recast the United States Supreme Court in the likeness of Hillary Clinton, then go ahead and don't vote for Donald Trump. We already know that we're up against an avalanche of anti-Trump media. Fine, but that means opportunities like a presidential debate allow him to bring that case directly through the silence or through the noise and to the people.
If he chooses to continue to embrace his strategy of a scorched earth campaign and bringing that to the debate stage, she'll be prepared to handle that as she has the last 2 times.
All right, well, yeah, that sounded good to you, Greg.
Yeah.
The stakes are huge tonight. Obviously, you saw the new Fox News poll, 6 points, Trump trailing Clinton. He's got to pull off something big tonight. What do you suggest, Greg, with your 15 pages of notes?
Donald Trump is bringing Obama's half-brother, and Hillary is bringing half-truths.
Oh.
But I would say my advice to Donald is to level with America. He's already got his base. So there's a lot of undecided people that think he's kind of a jerk. So he's got to say, I may be a cad, but some of your greatest leaders in history were cads and jerks and egotists. And that's how I got here. So you should say, I may be a jerk, America, but I'm your jerk.
Okay, I don't think that's going to happen, but good advice.
What are you talking about? That's the best advice you could get, to admit his faults and then say, embrace me for my faults.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's what I do every day.
Works out well. Okay.
No, it doesn't.
What do you think, Bowling? What should he lead with tonight to be able to try and tighten that gap? 6 points and still, depending on statistical margin of error, he's got a shot.
It's within the margin of error, yeah. So I think
7 points?
6, yeah. It's plus or minus 3, so that's right at it.
Wait, how is 3 6?
It's the new math.
Plus or minus. So if she's down,
it's Trump math.
It's really not. It's
this is Common Core is ruining our country.
Incorrect. When you take the margin of error,
yeah,
you have to double it to figure out.
If you would have to double it to get from 3 to 6, but you can only use it once.
Well, that's how pollsters do it.
No, you can only use it once.
Want to bet?
Yes.
Dinner?
3. Yeah, I have dinner with you anytime, but I'm saying
bet dinner
it's a 3-point margin of error.
No, it's plus or minus 3. So
all right.
One time.
No. Moving along to the advice segment.
That's what I think Donald Trump needs to do, is get back to that. There are probably millions of single-issue voters in the country, and that's the courts. The Supreme Court, I know everyone says, oh, I've heard that before, but also the judicial system. You might replace 50, 75 judges in the first couple of years of his term. And if Hillary wins, she'll have the Supreme Court. She's already told us. She'll have the federal judicial system. The country will be vastly different. President Obama had Republicans in Congress and Republicans in the Senate for 6 of the 8 years of his terms. He got Obamacare through. He got regulation, massive increases of regulation, strangling business. And he got 5 million illegals signed in as Americans. And if you think Hillary Clinton's going to be any different, just look what she's telling you on the campaign trail. She's running as the next term of Obama.
Okay.
She's running to the left, in fact, of Obama.
All right, Dana, your best advice.
Well, I think I would disagree that the courts is their best foot to put their best foot forward, because I think it's the economy. In the Fox News poll that you referenced, if you look at all of the different issues, the only one where Donald Trump is above Hillary Clinton is on the economy. So I would stick with your strengths and you can hit the Supreme Court, but I think that if I were that campaign, I'd say just start with the economy and just keep bringing it back to that, and see if you can try to make up some of that lost ground.
All right, now if you're Hillary Clinton, what's your advice for her?
Well, I think that she's got to bring some energy, right? Donald Trump, I don't like it when he's out there saying, oh, she's sleeping, because obviously in the first 2 debates she hadn't been sleeping beforehand. She studies a ton. But she has to bring some energy. She can't make it look like she thinks that this is over. And one of the big risks for both of them is depressing their own voter turnout. If Democrats think that this is in the bag and they don't show up and they miss a couple of those big important states, that could be a real problem for her. I also think that she needs to close on some sort of a vision. Whoever wins would be a very weak president going in. Neither of them are going to have a mandate, and it's very unclear how they would actually be able to start off on the right foot in January. So I would try to end on that. And also, the last thing I would say is she has to be willing to punch back selectively. She's done that in the past 2 debates. It's worked for her. Donald Trump's very unpredictable. No one knows exactly what he's going to do. He could take the advice you gave him yesterday or the advice that you just gave him today, or he could just do his own thing. He's stuck to this idea that the system is rigged. And I guess if he brings that tonight, it's reinforcing that you can win that GOP primary over and over, but you can't use that to win a general election.
If you look at who their guests are tonight, you may get an indication of what strategy they're going to employ. As Greg points out, Donald Trump has said he's inviting, and unless he takes it back, he's inviting President Obama's half-brother. And then Hillary Clinton is inviting Mark Cuban, who was a Trump supporter first and went very, very much against Trump over the last year or so, and both of them. So it looks like they're ready to do battle tonight.
Yeah, I think, look, you know what? What did Trump say? Drug tests. We need drug tests. That's the kind of night I anticipate in Las Vegas. This is going to be a lot of fun, you know, so why you would bring Obama's half-brother, I don't know. He's not running against Obama. But then, on the other hand, here you have Meg Whitman, Mark Cuban. I can see that speaks to the question of, is Trump a real billionaire, a real successful businessman? But to me, the key is Chris Wallace. Because I think if you look at what happened with Lester Holt, who I think let too much go, or you look at Anderson Cooper, Martha Raddatz, Elaine Quijano, I don't think they quite got it. And I think that what you're going to have is Chris really bore in. See, he's got buckets of questions. And so much didn't come up in those earlier debates. For example, you just heard a few minutes ago Dana talking about the economy. Have we really heard them talk about the economy, the deficit? What's your idea? How would you solve it? Stick to the issue. You can imagine Chris saying, answer the question. I asked you a question. That's going to be part of tonight's debate. And when they get to the end, the last bucket is, are you fit? Fitness to be president. That comes into temperament. I think that's going to open the door to lots of arguments. And what we hear right now around town is lots of talk about Hillary Clinton's health from Donald Trump. Oh, Hillary, you know, we heard him say she's sleeping. Maybe he's going to talk about Hillary's stumbles. Hillary's not capable. Hillary can't do it. We'll see how Hillary responds.
I think you're right, though, that Chris Wallace is really going to be controlling the evening, the dialogue, and getting to those specific areas that he believes are important for the American people to make an informed decision about who the next president should be. We're about 3 weeks out. It's obviously, you know, it's a very serious, important choice that people have to make that they feel, you know, comfortable with. And Dana, I think the thing is that we've been hearing like Trump so much on the defense. I think he really needs to go on the offense tonight, not necessarily attacking her, but he is going to bring Pat Smith, I guess, as a guest, the mother of Sean Smith, the analyst that was killed in Benghazi. What do you think about that?
I think that it is a side story. It's not the main course. And they tried this in the last debate. They brought the Bill Clinton's accusers to the debate. They had the big press conference beforehand. Apparently, Steve Bannon, chairman of the Trump campaign, said this morning that President Obama's half-brother is just the beginning of the spectacles that you might see tonight. So maybe that's bluster. It doesn't take away from the fact that Donald Trump is stronger on the economy than Hillary Clinton. I would just focus on that if I were them.
So I think it's a lot of Sin City stunts. I mean, they're worried about stunts on the Clinton side. I think they're thinking, boy, anything could happen. We don't know what's going to happen. Now, typically, third debates, by the way, do not shift the numbers appreciably. But the big event of this campaign, if you look backwards, was the first debate. Clinton, as people have pointed out, has been on a steady climb since that first debate. So we'll see if tonight can somehow reverse that energy.
What you mean when she brought in something that wasn't even asked of her? Like when she turned the discussion to Elisa Machado, that wasn't even the question she was asked.
Oh, yeah.
She stuck
but
that in there.
But she baited Donald Trump and took the bait.
To her credit, that was a brilliant move, but she definitely wasn't answering the question that she was asked.
Well, that's a rare moment when I hear Eric Bolling say to Hillary Clinton's credit, you're exactly right, though.
She is a good debater.
Here's one of the things that came out of the Fox poll that I noticed. 61% of the people who were polled in Fox said Hillary Clinton has the temperament to be president. 61% also said Donald Trump doesn't have the temperament. Can he show tonight that he really is a presidential timber? We'll find out in Sin City.
There's one other thing Donald could do. He should steal a page from President Obama in Hillary Clinton's playbook. Be a historical first. You had the first black president. You could have the first female president. The first game show host tycoon. He should say, be part of history. Vote for me. I'm the first really entertaining candidate. that you've ever seen. Don't you want to say 30 years from now you can tell your grandkids, yeah, I voted for that guy. Can you believe it?
Exactly. Well, one thing's for sure, they got to leave tonight with no regrets. This is their last chance. It is the final countdown, the last
Great
debate.
song.
Yeah, very good. Do we have that queued up?